Hello, my name is John Keegan, and I am the chairman of the Charles Edison Fund and the Edison Innovation Foundation. Both of our foundations are the family foundations for Thomas Edison. And one of our primary missions is to promote careers in science and technology, especially for women and minorities. Welcome to the 11th annual Thomas Edison Pitch Contest. Over 500 students were involved this year, and they came from all around the world. 24 states were represented in the United States and 4 countries. And students worked remotely through a very, very serious pandemic, and they made more creative projects this year and even better videos. We are now down to the top 9 teams, 3 in each age bracket. I want to thank you and your teachers and your parents and your schools for helping us to find the next Edison. The next Edison are all of you that participated in this pitch contest. There are only winners here, regardless of whether or not you received an award. Thomas Edison had many quotes, but his most famous one is, "There's a better way to do it, find it." Every one of you did that today by being involved in this pitch contest, and we thank you very much. God bless you, good health, and stay safe.
Okay, I'm Stella, and I'm going to talk to you about bees are dying every day, and we want to protect the bees and save them because we would be very unhappy if we didn't have any flowers in our life, and we need the bees to help us. So we created a little design to do that. I'm going to talk to you about the flowers that we put in. We put in bee balm, honeysuckle, forget-me-nots, poppies, basils, and coneflowers. I'm going to tell you why we put those flowers in. So we put the bee balm in because its fragrant blossoms attract the bees and make the bees want to spread the pollen. The honeysuckle makes the sweet smell of the flower attracts the bees. So it smells like honey, so the bees want to come and collect the nectar and bring it back to the hive. Forget-me-nots, bees enjoy them as an early spring snack. So when the bees come back from hibernating, they come and they can pollinate the forget-me-nots. The poppies are an excellent pollen source, and they need the pollen to spread. And then the basil has delicious nectar source for the bees. So the nectar they will bring back to their hive. And then the coneflowers the bees are attracted by the color and the pollen. So thank you, and I'll have another one of the bee workers coming on.
Hello, my name is Harrison, and as you've heard from Stella, bees are dying every day in the community. With the bee habitat, it's easy to help save the bees. It has a solar panel which collects energy and is very eco-friendly. It has 3 different flowers that bees love. It has a self-watering system, so you wouldn't have to water the plants. It is very portable and low cost. It is an educational tool to observe bees and their pollination. And it is a wonderful way to help save native bees and enjoy nature. And with every bee habitat sold, a tree will be planted. Okay. Hi, I'm James from the Bee Protectors, and our original design had all these solar panels and a lot of sections, but we changed it later because it needed sunlight to go in to help the flowers grow. So we made a second sketch, and that one had only one solar panel and a self-watering system so that when it rains, it could use the rainwater to help the flowers grow. When we finally made it, it looked really good. And how it works is the solar panel takes in the energy to power powers what?
Arduino board.
Or Arduino board, which will, and it can go to the wires to let this turn to let the rainwater go in. I'll let Stella take another turn.
This will cost about $49.99, but we only made it $50 because that it isn't too expensive, but it isn't too cheap because you will need money to create more if we, yeah. And so every time one of these is bought, we use some of the money that's bought from it to plant a tree. And it is a wonderful way to help bees enjoy nature. So come on.
So making this, it was $43.56 for the total cost of materials. About $6 for the flowers, of course, and we wanted to make a $6.49 profit, and we decided to make it $50. Right.
Any questions?
Okay. Is there any questions about the creation?
Hi, yeah. My name is Ben. I just had a question. Why did you guys select the bees as your focus in terms of your reason for your invention?
Oh, well, because we think that bees are a very natural and good living source, and we want to protect them because since they're dying every day, it's good to protect them and make sure that they still have a safe habitat.
And if we had no bees, there'd be no life. Like the animals that eat fruits that bees pollinate, they would die because they'd have no fruit to eat, and the fruit that we'd eat every day, we wouldn't have that, and some of the like meat we eat, if they ate like a fruit or something, they wouldn't be able to live, so we wouldn't be able to eat the meat.
We wouldn't even be able to have clothes because if you make it from animals, the animals would be dead, and cotton is a plant that would also be dead.
Hello, judges. My name is Sabine Perez, and I'm the creator of Brain Buddies. Brain Buddies is a brain-computer interface that helps identify reading problems. When I was in the 3rd grade, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. What is dyslexia, you ask? Dyslexia is a learning disability that makes it hard to read, write, and spell. According to Yale University, 1 in 5 people have dyslexia, and it doesn't just go away. And that's where my invention comes in. One day, my mom asked me to read, and so I asked her if I could silently read. When she said no, I asked her, why not? Then she explained to me that she couldn't help me when I struggled. Then I said, what if you could see everything I read? And that's when Brain Buddies was born. Let me give you a demonstration. Brain Buddies comes in a box of 5 or 10 with this USB cord to charge them. First, the teacher takes a picture of what the student wants to read. Then the teacher passes them out. When the student turns them on, there's a fingerprint scanner so the goggles know who is using them. As the student reads, the goggles record the brain waves of internal speech. It records what words the student got right and what word the student got wrong. It also records the total number of words read and at what speed. After the student is finished reading, they take off the goggles and data is sent to the teacher. The data can be sorted in many ways to help the student with their struggles. This all might sound like science fiction, but let me show you how it actually works. The goggles are equipped with an EEG sensor, which is placed on the front left lobe over the Broca's area to pick up the brainwaves of internal speech. What's internal speech? Glad you asked. I'm going to hold up a sign, and you're going to silently read it. Remember, not out loud, just silently. Could you hear the voice in your head? That was internal speech, and it happens in the Broca's area of your brain. So it's those brain waves that are sent to the computer through an Arduino with Bluetooth capabilities. Then those brain waves are compared to sound waves using speech recognition technology. Most of us use speech recognition technology every day, like when we say, Alexa, what's the date?
Today is Wednesday, May 19th.
Once those brain waves are converted into words, they are compared to words from the reading material using an algorithm. Not only could this help diagnose dyslexia, but it could give the teacher information about what the student was reading, so it could help everybody in the class. If the teacher uses Brain Buddies every day, they would be able to see patterns and improvements. I would market Brain Buddies for $200 for teachers and schools. They would buy my invention because it would save the teachers time. Kids would find reading much funner, and the schools would love the data it's collected. Although I did not invent any of the hardware, and I'm using existing technology, my invention is 100% unique, and there's nothing like it. I hope to change the way kids read and the way teachers teach kids to learn to read. And I believe literacy is a worldwide right. And by voting for Brain Buddies, you can help this new technology turn into reality. Together, we can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very nice presentation. Judges?
That was really nice. So the question I have for you is, what is the actual like main goal that you have? Is it to give teachers a faster way to diagnose, or does it also help students with when they have dyslexia and they're trying to read?
So basically, what my main focus to help the world is to make reading easier for kids. Because sometimes when you're doing reading training, you start at A says ah, and I didn't like that training at all. So I thought, could there be a better way to do this so they can start at where they're struggling?
I'm William. For this contest, our team came up with a tracker for small animals, like lizards and ferrets. I came up with this idea. My parents refused to let me get a small pet because they would be extremely freaked out if it got loose in the house. Taking care of animals is good for people. It teaches responsibility and is enjoyable. With the collar, more people can get pets. It would also allow these small pets to be better taken care of. They can get exercise while being allowed to roam around. Fewer animals would die because they get loose and can't be found. I thought that so many people and pets would benefit from a tracker for small animals.
I'm going to show you how I made our prototype. So first we have the remote switch, and then we have the battery and the buzzer and the LEDs. And this is all soldered together and hot glued onto a Velcro strip so it can come off easily. So here's the remote control. Basically, whenever you press A, it lights up and starts beeping, and whenever you click it again, it turns off. Here's a printed circuit board I designed for our final product. So Basically, the remote switch will come into here, and the buzzer will be on these two pins, and the LED over here, and here's the resistor for the LEDs. And also, the batteries will go in here. I can't hard to do it. It's weird. But
We would like to talk to a community investor. With a small investment, we could hopefully get this into our local pet store. Eventually, this could get into the bigger pet shops. We talked to our community pet shop, and they told us that people frequently ask for some way to track their small pet. To advertise, we would like to get our invention reviewed by people who talk about small pets on YouTube. This way, people who like small creatures can hear about our product.
we plan to sell our product for $25, which is about the same price as other pet trackers on the market. The material for our prototype cost $36. It was expensive because we bought individual components on Amazon. We decided to switch to a small single-use coin battery instead of the rechargeable battery to save money and make the product even smaller. In order to have a competitive price, we researched buying components in bulk. We were able to get our material costs down to about $7.
Our target audience would be pet owners, zoos, veterinarians, and classrooms with classroom pets. They will like this because they can let their animal out and know it will not get lost. And if you do lose it, you can find it quickly and conveniently. The animal will be happy because they can get more exercise and more people can get animals.
Micromaker's pet tracker is unique because it uses remote control rather than GPS or Bluetooth. Our product has a range of up to 160 feet compared to the Marshall ferret finder that uses Bluetooth and has a range of only 66 feet. GPS has the longest range, of course, but it will not help you find a lizard in a messy bedroom. It's a good idea to have GPS for cats and dogs, but whose lizard is running 50 miles away anyway? Remote control has the perfect range for finding something inside of your house. It's also easy to use and great for kids without cell phones.
But what?
Why should we win first prize?
We should win first prize because our invention helps people and small animals. It's a one-of-a-kind product and has never been made before.
It's using technology for good.
And for all these reasons, we should win first prize.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. No, don't go away yet. We might have a question. So, judges?
Yeah, I have a quick question. I noticed that the buzzer and light were extremely bright and extremely loud. Do you have any plans to provide other options to be able to locate your pets outside of the buzzer light?
So even though they were very bright and loud, they would actually not affect the animal because it's beyond their hearing. And the noise wouldn't affect them at all because it's over 4,000 hertz, which is beyond most little small animals' hearing, and it is higher in decibels. So they can only hear things from about 20 to 50 decibels, and ours is around 60 to 70.
And also the LEDs, they are pointed away.
What can I do? Well, that's where my invention comes in. Some people may think that global warming will need some high-tech carbon dioxide converter to solve, but really, trees are the answer. Trees are something that naturally breathe in and store carbon dioxide. What my invention is doing is providing communities with the necessary data to make their community and our world a healthier place to live in. Now let's go back a couple months ago. In class one day, I watched the video on climate change. There were a lot of interesting facts in that video, but one stuck out to me: the fact that trees could be the solution to decreasing global warming.
I was inspired to create something that would help my community and others be more aware of how amazing trees are and what they do for our environment. In Dr. Seuss's popular book and movie, The Lorax, the main character did just that. Even though that's why my invention is called the Lorax. Even though it's not a fuzzy orange creature with a cute mustache, my drone-like data collector will be helping trees help us. When a community rents my product, they will get a variety of data. Most geographic information systems, or GIS softwares that communities use, provide basic data like the tree location, the species, and the overall condition of the tree. But the Lorax can do all that and, through laser scanning, tell how much carbon dioxide is in the trees. With this information, communities will know how many more trees to plant and where to plant them. More trees equals less carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. When I spoke to my community's forester, he told me that their GIS software costs $23,000. I live in a small community that is approximately 32 square miles. I would have people rent my invention for $30,000 to $40,000, depending on the amount of trees in that community. You may think that this amount of money is overwhelming, but with the data my invention is giving, the time my invention is saving, and the untraceable carbon footprint of my invention, it would be worth it. Also, my invention would be saving money too. The price for the GIS software in my community might be $23,000, but that doesn't include the money that the community has to pay to get someone to collect the data. Yes, you heard me right. In other GIS softwares, the human has to collect the data. I'm no software engineer yet, but I could say the price to make my invention would be around $130,000 per drone. Again, this amount of money might seem overwhelming, but it would only take 3 communities renting my invention for $40,000 to make profit. Imagine all the communities in the US or even the world. I think I should win first prize for my invention because it is bringing the problem of climate change local, so communities know what they can do to help decrease global warming. As Dr. Seuss would say, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. Thank you.
Thank you. Judges, do we have any thoughts here you'd like to express? Questions, perhaps? Good,
So with your system, obviously using a drone to kind of fly over the forest and tree cover, you have to, will it be automatic? Or will somebody be piloting the drone? How will the drone work?
So someone will enter the coordinates and where the drone has to go and collect the data into the drone software, and then the drone will go and out and find that data itself and then return.
Thank you.
Did you know that 50% of all people are diagnosed with a mental health disorder at some point in their life? Hello.
We're Team Apples.
Consisting of Rachel Lee,
Harry Rue, Madhumita Papadesu,
and Shunya Patel, and we decided to take matters into our own hands to reduce those rates. As we begin, I would like to mention that the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We must recognize that everyone has mental health, and it's nothing to be ashamed about. Our goal is to raise awareness for the ongoing struggles many face as they battle different mental health conditions like anxiety. The issue that was most apparent to us was how anxiety negatively impacts everybody, especially throughout the past year. We knew that we wanted our invention to help relieve stress because one of our group members' mom deals with anxiety. Also, as we are 8th graders, we frequently deal with stressful schoolwork and face a similar situation where constant stress and anxiety can affect our performance on important factors of our future. Now, Harry will talk about to us how we help users deal with their anxiety through our invention, Apples.
Thanks, Shunya. So our invention consists of 2 components. The first part is the heart rate monitor made with Arduino, a single board microcontroller controlled with C++ coding. By using a breadboard to connect the wires, heart rate sensor, OLED display screen, and the LED light, we were successfully able to make a heart rate monitor designed to recognize anxiety. By increasing the rate size, we were also able to improve the accuracy rating of our sensor. Although our sensor is simple, it's different from other pulse sensors because ours notifies the user when their heart rate reaches 160 beats per minute, indicating a panic attack. Not only that, but it's easily transportable and functional without needing to connect it to a computer for power, as you can see. So when the sensor detects a user with an abnormal heart rate, 160 beats per minute, the display screen will display the message, deep breaths, and the red LED light will light up for 2 seconds before turning off and repeating. At this stage, the sensor is indicating the user to resort to the app for further guidance. Now to Madhu, who will discuss the next part of our invention.
Thank you, Harry. So the second part of our invention is the app, Apples. The app has several different components, such as situational flashcards, links to de-stressing videos, guided breathing exercises, calming images, motivational quotes, and portions to help the user raise awareness on anxiety. For now, everyone's able to view the app through a QR code, which directs them to the testing app. Here's the app on my phone. Once we have enough funding to publish it to the App Store, users can download this app with the click of a button. Now, you're going to have to bear with me as I also go over the financial standings of our invention. To go forth with our mission, we would need financial funding. Manufacturing our heart rate sensor costs $21, and our unit selling price is about $35. It takes $50 to publish our app to the App Store, but we also wanted to make it free and accessible for everyone to use because we believe that no one needs to pay to seek good mental health support. We can gain money from our free app by promoting mental health YouTubers and including advertisements from mental health clinics. We plan to use other social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook to promote our product to our target audience, middle and high school students. Colleen McShay, a mental health counselor studying at Loras University, commented that our invention could be successful in many different ways because organizations are looking for simple yet effective ways to reduce stress that aren't extremely expensive. Now let's move on to Rachel, who's going to conclude our page.
Our app and heart rate sensor differs from other inventions because our target audience is essentially everybody. This way, it can support more people in need and help them cope with their anxiety. Since our invention is nearly all digital, it is accessible and easy to use. Although it is nothing to be embarrassed about, those who are uncomfortable having their mental health conditions obvious to everybody will be relieved to know that our app appears to have no indication of mental health on the home screen display. We have many more plans for the future of our product that we would love to share with the world, and winning first place would allow us to take that next step to make those plans possible. As Thomas Edison always said, when you've exhausted all possibilities, remember this, you haven't. This inspired us to never give up and persevere through our errors. Thank you so much for your time and the opportunity to be here. And we hope that we can reach people everywhere to support mental health. And remember, an apples a day keeps the anxiety away.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team Edpulse. Very nicely done. Judges, do we have anything to tell or ask Team Edpulse?
You maybe missed this, but are you planning to make a call off the app as well?
Yes, we do. We plan to contact mental health clinics and YouTubers to advertise on our app, as well as including features like a premium with no advertisements. And we've also reached out to our school and district to already start advertising and promoting our app and sensor.
Hi, I'm Sophia Watkins.
I'm Sophia Shang.
And I'm Avik Chevirala.
And we're Team Shadow Chasers. We would like to thank you for this opportunity to present our invention, the mattress alarm. Our product is a brand new way to wake up on time every morning without being able to neglect your alarm. There are digital alarm clocks, lights that change color, brightness, and even diffuser alarm clocks, but none of those can prevent you from just pressing snooze and going back to sleep. This in turn makes you late to wake up, which then makes you late to wherever you have planned later that day. It also runs your sleep schedule. Our alarm can detect whether you've gotten out of bed or not, so there's no tricking it. Using weight sensors and Arduino and some wires, we created the ultimate foolproof alarm clock.
The mattress alarm is a creative solution to a problem that many people have, oversleeping. We were brainstorming possible ideas to submit for this competition when the topic of sleep came up, leading it to a discussion on waking up in the morning. As this conversation continued, we began discussing alarm clocks and possible features. We started with a basic idea, to place a weight sensor underneath the bed to detect if the person is on the bed or not. We had two main designs, these, but decided to keep this current design on the Arduino, which we can do a live demonstration of. This idea made a lasting impression on us, so we decided to
Our prototype cost a total of $33. This is a bit too expensive for an alarm clock, so we need to improve the design and have a profit margin while still keeping the price reasonable. The Arduino that we were using is $23, making it our most expensive item. We can lower this by using a generic board. We can decrease the price down to $20, which means that we can charge $25 for the alarm. We believe that this is a fair price. Our target market is the alarm clock industry, which has not seen any new changes in a long time. We plan on using something such as Google AdSense, which lets you target a specific audience. For example, if someone is looking for a new alarm clock, we can place an ad to inform them about our product. People will understand that this is a viable solution to their needs and buy the product.
Our product is different from other innovations because we help tackle a common worldwide issue that impacts people. The best inventions are the ones that aid humanity, such as the light bulb built by Thomas Edison. Through the design process and creative thinking, we made this foolproof alarm clock. It will help people all around the world wake up on time and set good sleep schedules. This invention would lead to a more productive society. As designed, the only way to defeat this alarm clock is to pull the
Once again, thank you for allowing us to present our project to you. Feel free to ask any questions.
Thank you very much. Judges?
Based on my understanding, it's a weight sensor on a mattress that would then connect to an app on your phone.
No, it does. Yeah, it connects to a smart plug, which has its own individual app. So at the moment, we're basically using a generic plug, but we're hoping to make it into something that is directly compatible with an app that we have designed.
Okay, and what actual mechanism would it use to wake someone up? You don't ask me.
Oh, it's a basic alarm clock. It makes a loud noise, but if you just there is no snooze option. There is just you wake up, and then if you go back to bed after waking up, it'll restart the alarm, which means that you can't get out of waking up.
So there is a pressure sensor.
Yes, there is a pressure sensor underneath the bed.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Rivas. And I'm Reagan Phelps. And we're from here at Trustwell High School, Trustwell, Alabama. So we decided to create a dog leash to prevent blistering on our dog's paws. Reagan, do you want to tell them why?
Yes. So dogs actually do not have sweat glands on the bottom of their paws. They just have something called paw pads, and they actually do not protect against heat very well. So it does cause blistering and burning when they're on a hot asphalt or another hot surface.
It's just like if you were walking on the sand or walking on a hot pavement, like it's scorching hot, you can bear, it's like unbearable. And now just imagine that on your furry friend's paws. So I actually had a neighbor who has a Chihuahua, and walking her Chihuahua, she realized that he was limping. And so, she took him to the vet to realize that he had blisters in the back of his left paw, and just had to get him all this medicine and stuff. And so what we wanted to do is we came up with the idea of, because we're both dog owners, just to bring awareness to this issue. And so by brainstorming, we went through the engineering design process and came up with 3 basic brainstorming ideas, which were
Yes, so we actually looked at making a sock or even putting the infrared temperature sensor on the collar or the leash. And we ended up going with the leash. And you can see here, we started with an Arduino kit, and we coded the non-contact infrared temperature sensor, the LED lights, red, green, and yellow, and a LCD screen. And yes, we coded that in the Arduino LED.
So we went through Autodesk Inventor and actually drew out a standard dog leash, and we went through 3 prototypes. The first one just seeing how we wanted it, and which was again like a standard dog leash. For our second one, we actually modified it a bit, made holes and for our lights and for our screen and for our temperature sensor, and something to actually clip and clasp onto it. And then for our last one was our final design with everything fitting, all our pieces in, and our coding done. So we can actually test it real quick.
Yes.
You want to explain?
Yes, and so the temperatures we have set on here are for demonstration purposes, and we would contact vets and get more research on what those need to be set at.
So green right now means it's good to walk on. So with the flame, we get yellow, meaning it's warning, and then red, meaning it's hot. You know, you need to stop walking the dog. So for the cost?
Yes, so for our cost prototypes, we actually have the PLA printed parts will cost about $1.50 a piece. The Arduino board, LED lights, and LCD screen will be about $20, and the non-contact infrared temperature sensor will be $15, and the leash will be $6. So how much it cost us to make our prototype was $42.50, but if we go into manufacturing mode and mass production, it'll be about $15 to $20 per leash. And our sales price that we like to sell our product at would be $30, so we would get 30% profit from each sales we make.
So the way we wanted to kind of like for marketing and trying to just get it out there, we wanted to contact ASPCA and, you know, Humane Society and vets just to get them to vouch that this is an issue that needs to be brought up to and more awareness to. And, you know, even, you know, once we get their help behind it, you know, put it online, put it on like Amazon and such, Petco, PetSmart, you know, once it gets really out there, but just really just bring awareness to it. And for our target audience, anybody that walks a dog, has a dog, you know, just watching out for them. And we feel that they will really like our product because although it's not like crazy, it's just a standard dog leash with modifications that help this issue.
Yes, and it's not like a sock that'll be crazy to put on and off a dog, especially that can agitate them. It's as simple like you hook it up to their collar and it's really easy.
So like something that makes like the reason we believe that our product is different is we actually did lots of research and looking at patents and stuff, and we came up with this design because we actually couldn't find anything similar or anything actually bringing awareness to this issue because we don't really think about it until it actually happens to us. So yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Steve. Okay, judges, do we have any questions we'd like to ask this team?
Is the temperature sensor, I don't know if you guys can see, am I here? Oh, the temperature sensor, is it mounted in the leash? Is it pointed towards the ground?
Yes,
sir.
It is.
So we have it, let me actually put this back on here. So the way we did it is where you're holding it, the light is facing towards you and it's pretty bright. We have the screen right here where it actually says this area is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we have the temperature sensor right here in the bottom pointing to the ground where the carabiner here holding the leash would be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So, hi, we're Team A+, and we created Heaven's Light, the perfect traffic light. Now, I want you guys to close your eyes. Imagine it's the night before the big day, your job interview. You tuck the kids in bed, prepare your papers, and then finally get the chance to sleep yourself. Everything is prepared. Now, let's fast forward to the morning of. You're ready, you're fully rested, so you hop in the car and go. Well, you're a cautious guy, so you have everything calculated. 5 minutes to pick up the morning coffee, plus another to guarantee you'll be there early. Now the drive to the office starts off smooth, that is, until the first intersection. Boom, red light, 1 minute gone. Boom, another, and another, and another. The roads are empty, not a car in sight, and still there you are, stopped at every single light. These minute-long delays don't seem like much, but they add up, which poses the question, why should an old-fashioned, rinky-dink brick hold the power to determine your fate?
That old-fashioned yellow brick is more than 100 years old and is a major influence on our day-to-day lives. Every commuting American spends on average 75 seconds waiting at each intersection for a red light to turn green when they could be tending to their day-to-day business with our Heaven Light. All that time spent waiting not only makes commute sluggish, but also contributes to carbon emissions. Furthermore, it contributes to an often overlooked factor in car accidents, road rage. 66% of traffic fatalities are caused by aggressive driving, which often happens due to rage raids. So it is time to innovate, to make our commutes safer and faster.
So, thinking like Edison, we decided that if there was a way to do it better, we would be the ones to find it. And we came to this idea pretty quickly, knowing that the lengthened commutes are widespread issues and that everyone is affected by it. And we wanted our solution to not just be effective, but also intuitive and widely accessible. So whether you're the one who's stuck as a pedestrian waiting for the traffic light to change so you can cross, or you're the driver sick of waiting at that red light, we realized that this traffic light system in place right now is heavily inefficient and that we could make it better. So after we realized this, we realized that it was time to get to work. we researched and came up with multiple new ideas that will be able to turn this boring old brick of a traffic light into the new traffic light of tomorrow.
But what makes our product unique? The entire system is built from a convolutional neural network that is enhanced by image augmentation and obstruction techniques. And thus, this basically makes our pedestrian and vehicle detection unparalleled in accuracy, especially compared to other detection algorithms.
And as for the physical prototype, we added various mechanical elements to optimize the construction of what may seem to just be normal traffic light. So first off, this traffic light is slanted so that the cameras can detect the road better and drivers can see the light better. Furthermore, we have added a feature which allows drivers to know if there's a right on red allowed. And this also is better for drivers because they can tell. And finally, we added a solar panel so that we can be more environmentally conscious.
So what will this traffic light cost? Our traffic light only has a minor increase in cost compared to a standard traffic light. Material-wise, the only additional cost would be the electrical components, such as the casing and LEDs, which would be relatively the same as a regular traffic light, although a slightly different design, and also the solar panels would pay for themselves over time. The slight increment in cost isn't significant and would only cost around $40 more for our version. However, with mass production, it would reduce the price to around $20, especially if we use PCBs. Furthermore, we discovered that towards the end of a traffic light's life cycle, they are sold for scrap, and this scrap from a dying traffic light could be used to create a new one, further increasing cost efficiency in the future.
But we're forgetting one of Edison's most basic tenets. The value of an idea lies in the use of it. So in order to sell this product, we would mainly target operators of the current global infrastructure system. So that primarily consists of federal and local governments. And as PJ was talking about before with the recycled materials and relatively cheap electrical components, it's almost a certainty that there will be widespread demand for our technology, especially with all the upsides that it can bring. Our project's main demographic is going to be common citizens and commuters, and because it makes commutes that much more efficient and reduces idle emissions for everyone, the effect would be appreciated ubiquitously.
I want you to close your eyes again, only this time there's a different picture. Your morning is a wreck, your coffee maker broke, your kids are fighting, you lost your keys. Think the absolute worst case. Now, as you're pulling out of the driveway, you think there's no way that you'll make it on time. But there it is, a miracle. Every intersection is cleared, every light is green. Now you may open your eyes and join us because we believe that this perfect world is just one pitch away. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Thank you very much. Judges, do we have any questions for Team A+, Smart Traffic Light?
I have a quick question. Would you mind going into detail on some of the sensors you actually plan on using? A little bit more specific in terms of what this traffic light is actually picking up on. You mentioned that you're using neural network to process your information, but what information are you gathering?
I can answer that. So in Pranav's background, you can see a lot of the circuitry and a lot of the soldering that we did. We actually made a lot of prototype boards, kind of combining all these sensors into an Arduino. The traffic light primarily functions by leveraging the Internet of Things. So that means kind of picking up data from a lot of different sources, right? So we have a carbon emission detector, we have cameras, we obviously have motion detectors and also ultrasonic sensors. But the main thing that we would be using is leveraging a image detection algorithm through a convolutional neural network. And a convolutional network is essentially when you apply a convolution operation to a bunch of training data to extract common features in order to detect a certain image, both in classification, which is detecting what it is, and localization, as in detecting where it is. And what makes our algorithm particularly unique is the fact that we augment the image. So even when it's snowing or it's raining, or let's say a lightning strikes and like the light sensor, the lighting in the situation goes completely off track, we will still be fine. The object detection algorithm is still going to be able to make decisions because of that added flexibility.
Of the estimated 1.7 trillion gallons of water wasted annually, the average family contributes 9,400 gallons. Over 1/3 of Americans report that they leave the tap on while brushing. Studies have shown that it all adds up. Something as simple as turning off the tap while brushing can save 112 gallons per week, or 5,820 gallons per year. In a world where 7.8 billion people share 1% of the world's freshwater supply, conservation is vital to humanity.
The existing solution to lessen water wastage is to install an automatic faucet. Some automatic faucets do not have a manual override in case of a power outage, rendering them useless in such cases. They cannot regulate temperature or water flow either. However, automatic faucets are unreliable and too expensive to become mainstream in households across the country. Home Guides estimate for faucet replacements and installation ranges from $150 to $400, making it inaccessible to the wide audience it needs to preclude water wastage in the domestic sphere. After careful examination of these pitfalls, we began brainstorming and arrived upon HydroSave. Many people are discouraged by making small changes in their life to remedy the large problem at hand because they are comfortable with their lifestyle. What makes our product different and better is that HydroSave does all the work for you. HydroSave is a device that regulates water outflow from a faucet. It attaches to the existing faucet, employing a presence sensor, solenoid valve, and a rechargeable battery. In doing so, HydroSave curbs water wastage at the domestic and commercial.
So here's a diagram of what it looks like on its own. The presence sensor detects whether the faucet is in use. If the infrared light at the bottom of the device does not bounce off the skin, no signal is sent to the direct acting solenoid valve, which then closes, preventing further water flow. 6-volt rechargeable lithium iron phosphate battery will power HydroSave. To further our commitment to sustainability, we included an aerator, and based on the chosen aerator, anywhere between 2 to 16 gallons of water per day can be conserved. Our first obstacle when configuring the components was configuring the components. Notice how HydroSave attaches vertically to the end of the faucet. Because of that, we realized we needed to invert the anatomy of a regular automatic faucet, not recreate it. So the solenoid valve is on top of the presence sensor, which is on top of the aerator.
In order to assess demand and determine the target audience, we conducted a survey. To address both accurate and integrity, we ascertained data from a wide variety of ages. We first asked how the respondents left the water on.
55% reported they leave the water running for copious amounts of time or forget to turn the tap off. Similarly, 50% indicated strong interest in purchasing a device like HydroSave, while 42.5% indicated a passive level of interest. Based on this data, Aqua Conservation Services recognized the space in the market for a product like HydroSave.
Our audience are households, since stopping water wastage on the domestic frontier is our primary goal. Furthermore, our secondary audience are restaurants and public places because of the substantial water wastage in the kitchen and other amenities. The wide target audience makes it instrumental to affecting tangible.
After determining the components in the blueprint, we faced our greatest obstacle yet. How exactly do we attach HydroSave to the existing faucet? It's a simple enough question to ask, to which we posited multiple solutions. Perhaps attaching magnets, a suction device, a hooking mechanism. We tested the magnets first, and in order for it to work, the existing faucet needed to be magnetic, and it wasn't, so then what? The appeal of HydroSave is that it's hassle-free. You can't ask people to drill holes in their appliances. Then we considered
a brace. Taking inspiration from an upper body brace used to correct posture by pushing and pulling various body parts, we designed an adjustable brace for HydroSave, allowing it to fit on any faucet. First, we need a high friction fabric. We decided to use recycled polyester, which is composed of recycled plastic bottles and textile waste with a PVC-based non-slip coating for resistance and waterproofing. This system of adjustable straps was inspired by adjustable backpack straps. You just tug at the end and it gets tighter, but that is admittedly an eyesore. No one wants that in their kitchen, the center of the home. Back to square one, or so we thought.
But like Thomas Edison said, I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And like that, we realized we didn't need to go back to the drawing board. Reminded quite literally of Edison's words, to invent you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. We created another design and executed it with, you guessed it, junk. 4 pencils, masking tape, packing tape, super glue, hair ties, and a plastic cup. Modernizing the brace system, we created this mock-up. The plastic cup represents the device, and the pencils are a bulkier version of the brace we will construct out of recycled steel. HydroSave is also highly adaptable, as represented by the hair ties, which you can slide it forwards and back, so it adjusts to the faucet. You'll also be able to slide it up and down, so it adjusts vertically as well.
We're hoping to talk to a professional plumber or possibly the janitorial staff at our school to learn more about how we can develop our product. However, as Edison once said, discontent is the first necessity of progress, reminding us that we must continue to improve and elevate our design. This meant we needed to ditch the sketches and hair tie designs for a more sophisticated model of HydroSafe, so we created a 3D rendering on Tinkercad. Here is an image of it. The design seen on the plane is approximately 1.375 inches in diameter, as that is the size of the standard kitchen and bathroom faucet hole, although sizes vary, which our adjustable features cater to. From the front, the design features an LED sensor that reminds users that they have left the tap running for an extended period of time. Furthermore, on the left side of the device is a read alarm switch, which is just another measure we put in place to alert users of overconsumption. When looking at HydroSafe from a bird's eye view, you can see the aerator in the device. The minimalistic design sported by HydroSafe makes it a great option for all homes and spaces as it blends in with appliances. Water conservation never looks so good.
Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Do we have any questions for them?
Just a more technical question. Just so it's a sensor. Is there any way for it to actually turn off the faucet, or is it just going to alert the user to overconsumption?
It can't physically turn off the faucet because the entire point of this is to attach to what's already there, so people don't have to invest $400 in installing a new one, installing a new faucet and replacing it as well.
Judges, any other questions?
I had a follow-up to that. So how are you going to alert the people to stop using to turn off the faucet?
Well, on our Tinkercad design, we have both a read alarm switch and a sensor that you would find on a regular just automatic faucet, so that will alert them. But nonetheless, the aerator, which we've included, even though the device can't physically turn off the faucet, the aerator dilutes the water flow with air, so you're still saving water in that way.
Okay,